Yes. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wednesday, the middle of the week. You're halfway through the week, baby. Hope you're doing well. Smizash the like button as you're coming on into the stream. Appreciate you. Josh must have fallen on hard times. He hasn't flown into the tower in his suit in a very long time. God damn it. You know, it's funny because let's see if I remember how to do this. I'm on my way. That's right. I'm back in the suit, and I'm flying to the Avengers Tower because you called me out on it. So welcome to the stream. What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a grand old day. Hope you're having a grand old day. We got a lot to get into today. I know what you're thinking. How is the microphone in his Iron Man helmet? Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Goddamn hillbilly. Yeah, so we got a lot to get into today, man. Crazy news about She-Hulk that I wanted to talk about. Tatiana Maslany's like, yo, we spent our budget, and Disney was like, no thank you. We all laughed, but apparently that's actually true. I want to talk about that because it's wild. Kind of love that she's just saying it, gotta be honest. Kind of love that she's just saying it. All due respect to her, but yeah, we'll get into that. Also want to talk about Star Wars. Star Wars, gonna Star Wars, man, and that is exactly what has been happening over the past couple of days. So we got to get in to all of that. And I'm pulling into the tower. Yes. Yes. Here I am. Here I am after flying into the tower. I gotta say, man, it's cold in here. It's really cold in the tower. I'm convinced that Susan, maybe Chet, maybe both of them forgot to keep the heat on last night because it is crazy cold in here. I've got the coat on. I've got 2 pairs of pants on. I'm doing an FDR. I've got the blanket on the legs. I'm freezing my ass off in here, man. Freezing my ass off in here. Holy shit. So basically, I'm saying all of that to say we're going to be quick today. It's a 45-minute stream. Let's get going. How much time have we spent already? Jesus. So it's going to be fast. How bad does this Ray news make Disney look? I feel bad for Disney. Nerdvengers for life. Oh man, we'll get into all of that, brother. I mean, how do you guys think it makes Disney look? Just be honest with you. You know, how do you think? Have you looked out online? Have you watched a few videos and seen the comment section? Have you gone on Reddit? How do you think? Frex, member for 21 months, says, though the Star Wars What If is not happening, if it did, it would completely 10 out of 10 amazeballs and Andrew Lincoln for young, middle-aged palps. I've had enough gender swapping, so I don't know who this Andrew Lincoln lady is, but I've had enough of the gender swapping and all that, so maybe Andrea Lincoln should just stick to other roles. You know what I mean? No offense. And also, I'm not quite sure who this Andrea Lincoln is that you guys seem to be obsessed with. But, fuck that! Can we try to keep it together? Can we try to keep it together? There's like things I'm trying to accomplish in this stream. I'm trying to like do some show notes. I want to talk to you guys about a couple of different things. Then we got to get into the news. We got to do Q&A, and then we got to get out of here. I'm freezing my ass off in this goddamn office, and I've got a ton of shit to do today. I'm busy! Do you have any idea how fucking busy I am? Star Wars announcing new projects they're not going to follow through on. Yeah, Rage and all that. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Okay, let's start with some show notes. Let's talk about a couple of cool things. First of all, let's start on a high note, then we'll go to the low note, then we'll go to the high notes. You know, we'll play jazz with this shit. Josh can adopt me in the space of this 45-minute stream. I don't know what that means, but send the paperwork through. Don't we get a kickback from the state on that? Let me know. And also, what is up Twitter? What is up Twitch? What is up Kick? If we're still there. Are we still on Kick? Somebody has to let me know if that shit's working. I haven't looked at Kick in like a while, so I have no idea what's going on with that. But hello to everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We've been having a lot of fun with these streams. I saw some people saying, like, what about the notifications for YouTube? It sucks, man. You know, we're really trying to do this multi-streaming thing, and with it has come a few growing pains, one of them being the lack of notifications. So the notification system for the live stream stuff is not as good. But I'll just tell you, we stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11 a.m. Tuesday nights, we've been doing the Nerd Avengers streams. So, like, you got to kind of, like, just check back in. Like, if you walk into the tower at around 11, we're going to be here streaming, unless we're not, because I've been busy lately too. Okay, everybody get off my back. Holy shit. Now, the next thing that's freaking awesome that I want to mention is last night was a great success with the Nerd Avengers stream. Okay, we've opened up memberships via Twitch. Okay, so if you didn't know this, if you have Amazon Prime over on Twitch, each and every month you get some Jeff Bezos money, some basically free money where you can subscribe to a Twitch channel for free each month if you have Amazon Prime. Okay? So we've been giving those people access to the members only stuff that we do. Like every Tuesday, we do a bunch of members only stuff. This year, we're really committed to doing a lot of fun streams over there. So in the month of January, we've been deep diving on the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee situation. Who created what? Who's the real creator? Who's responsible for what? We've been diving deep on that stuff. So we figured out a way to do that stream, and it hits all the notifications for the YouTube members. That's great. We do it through YouTube. But if you are on Twitch, you can watch the stream via the Discord. Okay, so you have to get into the Discord. You have to connect your Discord to your Twitch account. It'll recognize that you're a subscriber over there or a member, and then you'll get access to a certain part of the Discord. And we actually got it to work last night. I was like, let's go. This is freaking awesome. We had a whole bunch of YouTube people in there. Elisa was running another stream that went to the Discord, and we had Twitch people in there. They were able to give questions to Elisa. She was able to give them to me. It was awesome. It was a great success. So if you've ever wanted to be a part of the membership stuff, go sign up on Twitch literally for free. You can do that and you'll get access to it. It's a little different than if you just had access through YouTube, but it's technically free, or I guess it's on Jeff Bezos. He'll get you into all of our stuff. Another thing that I wanted to mention is we are doing a drawing for the $200 GameStop gift card in January, and I wanted to do it today, and I screwed it all up. So we're going to have to do it on Friday. But what that means is, goddamn, did you hear my shoulder? I just pulled that back and my shoulder popped. Did you guys hear that? That's how cold/old I am. It's a bad combination. All right. ADD moment. Listen. Gift card. GameStop. We're drawing it on Friday. Even if you are a member on YouTube, if you want an extra entry into winning the GameStop gift card, go sign up with your Jeff Bezos money on Twitch as a subscriber. Again, for free. And you get an additional entry to win the $200 GameStop gift card. So we're going to draw that on Friday. You have another chance to go over on Twitch and subscribe. Also, I need a little help from you guys because a lot of people keep saying, I can't find the Den of Nerds on Twitch. Now, the reason is because I use underscores. I made this account like 6 or 7 years ago, and I thought underscores were so cool. So you couldn't put the Den of Nerds. So I was like the underscore den underscore of underscore nerds. Yeah, it's pretty fucking lame. But here's the problem. People can't find it because of the underscores. So are any of you guys supercomputer wizard people? Because I think I had a thought. If I fill the Twitch account and maybe like some of the descriptions or something over there, if I SEO it and it says Den of Nerds and stuff like that, will that help people find the channel over there? You found it? No problem. I'm not, and I found it. Nope. What? I'm sort of a wizard, says Dirt Wizard. Okay, there you go. That's not going to help? You can change it? What? I can change it? So I can just change it to the Den of Nerds? Without the underscores? Get out of town. Get out of town. Is that real? Is that true? It's easy to change. Den of underscores. As soon as you put the nerd of, it was able to find it. Oh, okay. Change your gamer tag, homie. Hey, you don't say that. Captain Zigit says, I think you can change it. Okay, cool. We'll get it. We'll do it and we'll change it. Good. That'll be good. That'll get more people to be able to find it over there. I'm also thinking about doing some surprise streams here and there that would be only on Twitch. Like some gaming streams. Like I was going to do a stream and I don't know if I'll do it this week. Maybe I'll do it next week because I like got back into Marvel Snap. So I was going to do like a big stream where I sort of look at Snap, go over the meta, try to play a bunch and rise through the ranks and maybe potentially try to get infinite on a stream. And I might just do that on Twitch. You know? Like I've been thinking about some things like that. And also like, for instance, on Kick or maybe even on Twitter, I've been thinking about this, guys. This is kind of interesting. There's some stuff that we want to do, but we can't do because of copyright stuff. In my opinion, it's fair use. Like a lot of what I want to do is technically fair use, but because of the way the copyright system works on YouTube, like we would get dinged or it would like it wouldn't work. Like there are certain YouTube channels you can't even watch on YouTube because they'll block you and get copy struck. Like for instance, what's the channel that does all the battles like Superman versus Goku and shit like that? You can't even react to that channel on YouTube. They'll block you. And I'm like, that's fucking crazy. But on Kick and potentially on Twitter as well, it's like the Wild West. Like there's none of that. Death battle? Okay. Yeah. Death battle. Okay. Yeah, death battles. Yeah. So I was thinking like, you know, maybe we'll jump around a little bit. We'll always do like most of the streaming will be on YouTube. That's just where we have the biggest audience and where we've been for years. So we'll do YouTube, but I was thinking, you know, we could throw in some extra stuff. Like, hey, maybe I want to do a gaming stream for a couple hours. Pop on Twitch. You know what I mean? And just do a gaming stream. And then that way, like a lot of you guys have an incentive to go over on Twitch and sign up and, you know, continue to hang out over there. And it doesn't affect like, you know, algorithm stuff on the YouTube channel. And also if we wanted to like I thought it would be a fun stream and this would be like, you guys don't want to do this probably, but I kind of want to do this. I'd love to do a tier list of Nickelback songs. That's right, I said it. I want to do a tier list of Nickelback songs, and I want to listen to the Nickelback songs. I want to like jam out with you. You know? We can't do that over here. They will be like, you're blocked and you also owe us $1 million. You know what I mean? So like, I just think we're gonna potentially experiment. You see, look at this banter. The banter's already great. Twitch's copyright is just as strict with music. Yeah, but Kicks isn't. And I doubt Twitter is. Twitter, we could probably get away with a lot on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? So maybe we will. Just a thought. Just wanted to put that out there. But the main thing to keep in mind, the main thing that I wanted you guys to know was go give us Jeff Bezos money on Twitch. We'll probably be doing some streams strictly on Twitch. That'll be fun. We can kind of try to grow the audience over there and have fun. If you sign up on Twitch, you get a shot at winning the $200 GameStop gift card each and every month. You're also going to end up getting a lot of the benefits that the regular channel members get. So go check that out. And I think that's it. I think that might be everything that we gotta talk about. Twitch is not strict at all. Also, there is a way to make it where the music doesn't save to your VOD. That's cool. Twitch gives you a warning, but I know almost every streamer just plays Spotify. Yeah, I think, like they were saying, maybe it just goes away from the VOD or something like that. I'm not really sure. But, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Something interesting to keep in mind. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's pretty much all the intro stuff. Let's get into the juice here. Let's talk about some of these stories. Let me, I want to begin with the She-Hulk Tatiana Maslany stuff. This is fascinating to me. So, She-Hulk, right? Season 2. What do you guys think? Should we get a season 2? Should we not get a season 2? It's really interesting because a lot of the scoopers and a lot of the insiders have been saying She-Hulk season 2 is coming, which is felt weird, frankly, because a lot of us were like, fucking why? You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing that? But yeah, so they've been reporting and talking about how She-Hulk's season 2 is going to be coming. Now, recently, I think it was just within the last couple of days, Tatiana Maslany was asked about this, and she gave a really hilarious, frank answer, basically saying they used up the budget, and Disney was like, no thanks to a season 2. And a lot of people were like, that's wild. And again, you saw some of the scoopers and some of the insiders being like, yes, but this doesn't necessarily mean we're not getting a season 2 because she also said she wasn't She-Hulk, etc., blah, 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 blah. Well, interestingly enough, an article on IO9, and this is not going to be the last time we talk about IO9 today, but IO9 kind of came in and talked about how not only did Tatiana make these comments, but they're also hearing from their sources that she's right, which adds an extra level of hilarity to the whole thing because, like, she's just out here talking about that, you know, which is crazy. But anyway, let's read through this article and let's talk about it together, okay? She-Hulk Season 2 seems unlikely, according to Tatiana Maslany. The Orphan Black actress who starred in Marvel Studios' Disney Plus series recently commented on its future. If you had to guess which Marvel character would be the first to publicly acknowledge whether or not their show is returning to Disney Plus, of course it would be She-Hulk. The self-aware, fourth-wall-breaking heroine, played by Tatiana Maslany, is one of the several characters introduced on the streamer whose fate has yet to be acknowledged. But it seems Maslany has an idea, and it's not very encouraging. Appearing on a Twitch game show, the Orphan Black star was asked if she thought She-Hulk Attorney at Law would be returning for a second season. I don't think so, Maslany answered. I think we blew our budget and Disney was like, no thanks. That's amazing. IO9 reached out to Disney for comment for clarification and has yet to hear back. We'll update this post if and when we do. On the surface, though, Maslany's comments certainly make sense. She-Hulk was way more visual effects heavy than its superhero siblings like Miss Marvel or Moon Knight. Those shows had visual effects, of course, but didn't require them every single time the main character was on screen. Variety later report, episodes cost around $25 million, which is a lot. More than episodes of Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian. Oh my God. But if the show was a massive hit, Disney would pay what it had to. Unfortunately, though, reviews for the show were mostly Unfortunately, though reviews for the show were mostly positive, it ultimately suffered the same fate as many Marvel other Phase 4 shows. It came, it went, and while it had its fans, larger MCU implications, and the cultural conversation around it never quite sustained. Yeah, it was a bad show. And many of us didn't like it. IO9's understanding of the situation, according to a source, is that Maslany's comments are basically accurate, just lacking some context. That context is when CEO Bob Iger returned to Disney and changed much of Marvel's direction. Everything was reevaluated. We see some of that fallout handling of Daredevil Born Again, Captain America New World Order, and upcoming Avengers movie. So while Marvel works everything out, it's not that the second season of She-Hulk has been completely abandoned. It just seems less likely than not at the moment, which, yes, in part due to its massive budget. Even if a second season did happen, though, there would be major changes in terms of the visual effects, making the show more cost effective. Okay, so that's the report from IO9. Now, couple of different things here. Number one, Tatiana Maslany is hilarious. And I think it's hilarious that she's just out there saying this. I mean, that's basically true. And we've been hearing a lot of stuff about this. Like, there are rumors that even Thunderbolts is going through budget cuts, and that could have something to do with why Steven Yeun walked away from that role. It could also be why they're having trouble filling that Century role, right? There's some sort of cost-cutting stuff going on there. Both Star Wars and Marvel are working on producing less and less content because they have to answer to Disney, and it's just fiscally irresponsible. Like, let me just like put it out there just as nicely as I can. The idea of spending $225 million on a She-Hulk show is absurd. She-Hulk is great, but She-Hulk is a B-level character at best. She's a derivative. And they sort of talk about this and make fun of it in the show and stuff. But She-Hulk is that. She's a derivative. Even if you love She-Hulk, man, She-Hulk's a B-level character. Her runs are constantly short. They get canceled. She has some interesting stuff. The John Byrne run, of course, is legendary. But more or less, She-Hulk is kind of a B-level character. So it's absurd to spend $225 million on a She-Hulk show and then turn around and do things like spend $90 million on Obi-Wan and Kenobi, on the Kenobi show. That's ridiculous, right? So that just doesn't make sense. And if you're Disney and you're looking at all of the different options that you have for Disney Plus, I think, you look at She-Hulk, you look at the budget, you look at the reception, you look at the views, because remember, this was a show, and I think this was the first time a Marvel show fell out of the top 10 of originals on Nelson. So it was like kind of riding that MCU juice, and then it falls out of the top 10. And ultimately, disappointing viewership numbers. I also think the show is just bad. I think it's bad. I think the ending was ridiculous. I think there are some people that probably liked the show, and there are aspects of the show that I liked. But overall, I felt like it actually did damage to the Marvel brand. They don't want to talk about this. IO9 doesn't want to talk about this. A lot of people might not want to talk about this because of the implications and how sensitive people are these days. But the reality is, She-Hulk was a show that tried to trigger fanboys and then made fun of them for being triggered. By the way, I didn't come up with that. That was in the pitch meeting. Who's the guy that does the pitch meeting? Nailed it with that. That's exactly what She-Hulk is. It's a show that wrote into its material ideas and themes and scenes that were meant to trigger certain types of fans and then made fun of those fans for getting triggered, that's a really stupid idea. So I think the She-Hulk show is horrible in so many different ways. By the way, not Tatiana Maslany's fault. I think Tatiana Maslany is great. But that show was bad. So you look at the big budget, you look at what it did to the discourse, you look at the fact that you have all these heavy hitters coming in through the Fox deal with like the X-Men characters, the Fantastic Four characters. Like, I'd literally rather watch a Gambit show. I mean, dude, go to B-level X-Men or mutants, C-level X-Men and mutants, go to D-level X-Men and mutants, and I think you're going to find more interesting characters, more interesting stories, and probably cheaper productions than what you got with She-Hulk. So I think for that and for many other reasons, I think She-Hulk season 2 not happening. At least not happening anytime soon. She-Hulk herself may well be involved in other projects moving forward. Maybe not. Maybe not. Here's the thing. This kind of feels like sort of a low-key Marvel W. Like, we're going to talk about this, I think, over the next several months as we get towards San Diego Comic-Con, okay? I really feel, and I've heard some things from behind the scenes, I feel encouraged that Marvel is making decisions like this. So on the surface, it might be like, oh man, no more She-Hulk. But real talk, that's amazing. That shows that like we haven't just completely left reality. Because when it comes to stuff under Disney, I think a lot of fans are frustrated because it feels like we've completely left reality. Like, how is it possible that you're seeing object failure and it seems like the studio isn't actually responding to the failure and just kind of keeps doing the same stuff? At some point, that has to stop. At some point, something's got to give, and you need, like, cooler heads to prevail, and you need to make some changes. You need to get shit back on track, right? Like, so I'm personally looking at all this stuff. You know, Foggy and Karen are coming back. By the way, big video coming out about Daredevil later today. Juicy stuff that was said by Jeff Snyder last night. Interesting stuff said by Vincent D'Onofrio recently. So I have a big video coming out about Daredevil, and I'm actually kind of excited about it. But just like with the Foggy and Karen stuff, this feels like another, like, W. Like, let's put this in the W category. No more She-Hulk season 2. And the best part about this is, like, we're not going to get Disney and Marvel coming out and acting like She-Hulk season 1 was this big success. Everybody's really excited for it, and it's going to be the next big thing. That's what I don't want anymore. Like this sort of dystopian, like fucking 1984, like, what is happening? This is not good, and you're just acting like everything is fine. So to me, man, you know, no offense to Maslany, no offense to anybody that worked on the show, but thank God. Thank God, man. No more She-Hulk. We don't need that. We don't need that shit. And focus on better characters, focus on better stories. Please, for the love of God, don't do She-Hulk season 2. I think it's a W. I think it's a W. What do you think, chat? Am I crazy? Or do you think, again, this is another sign here that things are starting to change? Because, like, look, man, we've been talking about our frustrations together as a fan base for years at this point, right? We've been thinking about a lot of these frustrations. We've been talking through these things. It's about time we start seeing that reflected in some of the decisions that Marvel's actually making. We want season 2. I am certain there are some people that want season 2. And I don't want to, like, dude, if you enjoyed She-Hulk, like, Bob's your uncle. Like, that's great. But I just have to say, as more or less an analyst of the space, as somebody that spends probably way more time not only like researching these things, but looking at how fans are discussing these things via Reddit, via Twitter, via other channels, comment sections, like, as somebody that is like, dude, like, I live and breathe this stuff. This is what I do for a living for the past 7 years. I just have to tell you, my expert opinion here is those among you that really want She-Hulk season 2, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine without it. It's the rest of us that have the fucking pitchforks and torches, the people that are like ready to jump out of the window. Those are the people we got to worry about. No offense to you, but if you're one of the people that loved She-Hulk, they've got you forever. In my opinion, they've got you forever, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to show up at the next thing. It's not you we have to worry about. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is that fair? Like, that's not toxic, right? Isn't that a fair, non-toxic way to say that? Cool. Yeah, cool. We're growing. We're growing over here, baby. You know what I mean? We're gonna figure out a way to address all the people in the living room. So no She-Hulk season 2. Cool. Moving on to Star Wars. Oh my God. Where to begin? Where to begin on Star Wars? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for Star Wars news. I'm sure you've seen all of this stuff happening. I mean, last week it's frankly shocking. We get the news about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Pretty wild. A lot of speculation about why that report is out there, what exactly is happening on, what's up with the Rey movie and all of that, right? So yesterday, really interesting day. You have a scoop start to kind of percolate out there online early on in the morning. Came in from an outlet not many of us were really familiar with, but it was sort of bolstered by Bespin Bulletin. Bespin Bulletin, very good scooper, very reliable insider in the Star Wars game. He was kind of saying, you know, this is interesting. I trust these guys, and they're saying this about the Rey movie. Now, what they were saying was that this other outlet had heard that the Rey movie was delayed indefinitely, and this was mostly due to the script. And that made sense. I mean, they fired Lindelof and hired Steve Knight like 2 weeks before Star Wars Celebration. And I remember, dude, when that was happening, like, I was just losing my mind. I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, it's unbelievable that they're really going to fire the writer that's been working on this for like a year plus and then bring Daisy Ridley out on stage at Celebration when they have no script. They have no idea what the movie is. I mean, I guess they have some idea of what the movie is, but it had to be completely different than what the Lindelof version was going to be, right? And so Steve Knight starts working on it. Then the writer's strike happens. And the writer's strike was happening for a long period of time last year. And so to me, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, that script's probably not ready. Now, in the article itself, they were talking about how they had heard Steve Knight turns in a draft. Lucasfilm literally gave him so many notes, he had to start from scratch. Okay? And also they spoke to the fact that Steve Knight, very frustrated with the process, wants to just focus on his Peaky Blinders movie. And they kind of speculated that maybe he would even lose, or that Lucasfilm would rather lose Steve Knight as the writer. Now, this, of course, caused a cacophony of noise on social media and on YouTube and on Reddit and all these different things. So many different videos, so many different articles. It really did blow up. And a lot of people ran with this whole idea of the Rey movie being canceled, which is funny, man. Like, dude, I get it, man. It's Internet Thunderdome. We're all playing the game. It's the attention economy. But that was literally never a part of the reports. The fact that the movie was canceled. Like, delayed indefinitely doesn't mean canceled. Now, we'll circle back to that because if I were Lucasfilm, I would look at all the videos and articles suggesting that it is canceled, and I would look at the fan reactions to it being canceled because I think people would prefer that, actually. They just saying. That's what a lot of the fans are saying. So, that's the TLDR of what happened with the information, the news, and all that stuff yesterday, okay? So then, later on in the day, we get an update from IO9, and let me, I actually want to pull up this Bespin article here, because I think Bespin actually just chimed in on this as well. Okay, it was World of Real. That's the one. Okay, and he does a good job. Bespin does a good job in this article kind of breaking down what happened yesterday, what happened with the Gizmodo report and the IO9 report and all of that, okay? So let's pull this up. Okay, so check this out. This is over on Bespin. The untitled Rey Star Wars movie releasing in December 2026. Reliable insider hints at release date. And you might be like, wait a minute. So this thing's coming out in 2026. I'm sorry. I thought all the YouTubers said it was canceled. Let's get into it. Yesterday, we had two reports from two different outlets in regarding the untitled Star Wars movie led by Daisy Ridley, which would see Ridley role of Rey Skywalker as the character attempts to forge a new Jedi Order 15 years after the events of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. He should have added a little bit here, which sounds fucking ridiculous. Anyway, the first report came from World of Real, which I covered yesterday, though many X users, dude, it's Twitter, man. I'm never calling that shit X. Users decided to claim that it was my own report. It was not. As I covered and credited Real, as I wrote my article yesterday, I followed World of Real for a number of years for their film coverage, which typically pertains to smaller movies. A film like from Paul Thomas Anderson, for example. I've seen the outlet get reports correct regarding smaller movies, and they don't have much of an interest in big franchises like Star Wars or Marvel. And as I wrote in yesterday's article covering their report, just because an outlet individual's success it has in one field doesn't mean they'll be successful in another. Look, Bespin got a lot of shit yesterday for sharing this article. I'm going to be honest here, and I don't have any ill will towards Bespin. He deserves it. Like, real talk, he deserves it. I totally understand, like, that the internet blows back hard. It's Thunderdome. Trust me, I've gotten my fair share of that kind of criticism and everything like that. But this story would not have even gotten out there if Bespin didn't cover it. So I gotta be honest with you, like, I understand what he's trying to do here and cover his ass, and I do think people went too far, but dude, I wouldn't have made a video on this shit if he had not talked about it. Reddit wouldn't have been talking about it if he had not talked about it. Dude, it is literally his fault. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but it's literally his fault. He's reliable. It was on the coattails of him being reliable that people even looked at the story in the first place. And the other thing that I'm kind of confused about is, like, doesn't he, like, check with other sources and shit? Here's what I really don't understand is why Bespin reported this at all. There has to be something else going on. There has to be something else that he heard for him to even want to cover this, I think. But anyway, let's read on. The Real report claimed that the Rey film had suffered an indefinite delay and that the delay stemmed from creative issues between Lucasfilm and the film's writer, Steve Knight. An indefinite delay does not mean a film is canceled or scrapped, which I think some fans assume when they see the term. Yes, unfortunately, that is true. Or maybe YouTubers just know it's more salacious to say that it's canceled, and because all they care about is clicks and not integrity, they would just put canceled in their thumbnails, titles, etc. But, you know, whatever. It simply means something has been delayed for an unmeasured amount of time. The outlet added that Knight's most recent draft was met with so many no's from the studio they would have to start from scratch, and that the writer become frustrated with the situation, with the outlet adding there's a chance, not that he had, exit the project. Hours later, a journalist I really respect, Jermaine Lucier of Gizmodo, shared that according to one of their sources, the Rey film had not been indefinitely delayed, and that Steve Knight was still a part of the writing process and Lucasfilm awaiting a new draft from the writer. I also covered this in a report shortly after its release. In my opinion, both reports can be right. World of what? See, now this is interesting. In my opinion, both reports can be right. I got to be honest with you. I feel like there's a reason Bespin actually covered this. I feel like there might be more going on here. But let's just see what Bespin has to say here. In my opinion, both reports can be right. World of Real never claimed that Stephen Knight had exited the film, just that he was frustrated and the exit could be possible, but that he was due to pen a new draft. The Gizmodo article stated that Knight is still a part of the writing process on the film and that Lucasfilm awaiting a new draft. Both reports say that Knight is still on the Rey film, and both reports say that Lucasfilm anticipates a new draft. The biggest difference in the reports is that Reel said the film has suffered an indefinite delay, meaning it has no current release date, and Gizmodo said that the film had not suffered a delay. Today's news might point towards a release date. Lucasfilm and Disney announced 3 release movie dates for untitled Star Wars films in June of last year. Those movie dates were May 22nd, 2026, December 18th, 2026, and December 17th, 2027. It was widely believed and reported by various reliable insiders, including Jeff Snyder and Making Star Wars, along with the Hollywood Trades, that the first movie to release to take that May 2026 release window was the untitled Rey Skywalker film. That's set to be directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, Miss Marvel. Lucasfilm never publicly announced what Star Wars movie would helm the May 2026 window. Last week, Lucasfilm announced The Mandalorian and Grogu, a film written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Yeah, they're co-writing. With Favreau on board as directing duties. In the announcement, Lucasfilm revealed that the film was due to begin production later this year and that the film would lead their theatrical film slate that includes the Rey Skywalker movie. Filoni's Mandalorian crossover event film and the untitled film from James Mangold, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The wording in the announcement from Lucasfilm seems to imply, at least to me, and I also agree with him here, that the Mandalorian and Grogu film will be the first on their slate to release. Given that, Lucasfilm said it'll lead the theatrical slate, which means it's likely that the Mandalorian and Grogu would take the May 2026 release window, given that's when the next Star Wars film is due to be released. If that is the case, then the untitled Rey Skywalker film... Can we just stop calling her Rey Skywalker? Why we got to do that? Can't we just call her Rey? The film could not release on May 22nd, 2026, despite various outlets hearing that it was planned to release during the window. Again, Lucasfilm never specified what Star Wars film would release in May. And this brings us to now, or more so last night. During the latest episode of the Hot Mic podcast, reliable insider and journalist Jeff Snyder was asked about the Rey film suffering a delay. Snyder shared that he already commented on the matter in his X replies, and his reply was, "My comment is trust me when it comes to Star Wars, and that's about it. See you in December 2026," and added a winking emoji. He added the Hot Mic podcast comment December 26th in reference to the Rey Skywalker film possibly suffering a delay, and that's as far as he is aware. Steve Knight is the writer and will be given more time. Snyder teased that he has an article in the works, which is a part of his paid newsletter, and will delve into the Star Wars release schedule. So that's interesting. I'm really interested in what Jeff has. He said he was going to release it in the newsletter last night. I think he was actually delaying it to just get a couple other things double checked. That's supposed to release later today. I think it's going to release at like 9 p.m. It could come out sooner than that. But I'm really interested in what Jeff has on this, because Jeff seems to have an incredible source when it comes to Star Wars, especially on the movie side of things. So we've got to see what Jeff is going to add to it. I really think we're going to get a lot of clarification there. Okay. Now let's break this down like a fraction. So the main question here is this thing delayed? Is it not delayed? Okay, and the indefinitely thing, yeah, like we can talk about that as well. But here's, to me, what's going on. Like, it is delayed. The only question is, how much is it delayed, right? Because as Bespin points out in the article, they said in their press release last week, which shocked everybody, guys, like all the best people I know that I talked to behind the scenes was like, this came out of nowhere. And I think it really did shock a lot of people. In that press release, they say Mando and Grogu is going to lead the slate. The Hollywood trades are saying Mando and Grogu is now the priority and the focus. As far as we know, even if Steve Knight isn't off the movie, he has to do a whole nother draft, and they're waiting for that draft. So either way, it's delayed, right? Like it feels like it. It feels like it's delayed. Is it not delayed? Here's another interesting element about this. Daniel RPK said yesterday that he's heard the movie's not delayed and it'll shoot in May. It's going to go shoot in May. Now, I also had a source reach out to me and say they didn't believe that it was delayed at all and that they're literally building sets for that movie right now. So they're building sets for the Rey movie right now. But hang on a second. Hang on. Hold up. Wait a minute. How can it be the case that Mando and Grogu is going into production later this year? It's supposed to lead the slate. But the Rey movie, without a script, is going to roll cameras in May? Is Daniel right? Is my source right? Are they really going to shoot this thing in May? You know what I think is really going on here, ladies and gentlemen? We have no fucking idea. I think we're in this weird state of flux. And I think, just like in Marvel, like I was talking about, like I did, I recorded a Daredevil video earlier today, right? And I made mention in that video that, like, dude, Daniel's been getting a lot of stuff wrong lately. And that's just factually true. He's been getting a lot of stuff wrong. But here's the thing. It's not like Daniel's completely unfucking reliable. It's the fact that so much is changing. So much is changing so quickly. And as we were just talking about with the She-Hulk thing, I mean, how much of an influence does Bob Iger have in the fact that She-Hulk season 2 probably not going to happen? You know? Part of me just feels like there's no goddamn way they're going to roll cameras in May. Like, they would have to get a perfect draft back from Night within the next couple of weeks. They'd have to have everything cast. They'd have to have all of, like everything ready to go. The LLC, like everything. And then, boom, they roll cameras in May. To me, and like, I don't know. It's like so much is happening. I don't know. But to me, that seems crazy. How are they going to do that? And so I tend to believe, guys, that it will be delayed. And it might be delayed indefinitely. Again, I don't think it's canceled. I think you'll see a Rey movie eventually. It might not be with Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, though. And it might not be this version of the movie that Steve Knight is doing, right? So, is it possible that all these poor people, and I don't mean like they're actually poor. I just mean like I sympathize for them. All these folks that are like cast and crew that are building these sets over in Europe right now. Is it possible that by the end of this week, they're going to get Go Home Rogered by Lucasfilm? Yeah, I think it is. I mean, they've done this before. They did this to the Kenobi show. They fired all of that cast and crew when they were initially going to shoot with the Kenobi show. Do you guys remember this? Like, there were all these reports that came out that were like, the scripts are not good. They need to rework them. Then we had an interview with Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor's like, the scripts are fantastic. We're rolling cameras really soon. And then, like, it literally comes out 2 days later, I think, from Collider that they Go Home Rogered it. The scripts need work, and they fired everybody. So sometimes not everybody knows everything that's happening. And so you get these different reports. You get these mixed up reports, and we're not certain yet what's going on. But to me, like, if I had to bet, if I was a betting man, yeah, dude, I do think the Rey movie's going to be delayed, and I do think it'll be delayed indefinitely. And another thing here is I think that's a good thing. I'm actually not against doing a Rey movie, but I think the current trajectory of this film is usually scheduled Lucasfilm goobly glob bullcrap. Like, guys, due to Jeff Snyder, who again is going to probably clear a lot of this up tonight in his newsletter. I'll do a big video on it tomorrow after we get the info. Jeff Snyder's been on the money with how the whole thing went with Lindelof. This seems like a terribly produced movie. So I don't think this team and this idea and this production should be what leads to the next Rey movie. And it damn sure shouldn't be the production that leads to the next Star Wars movie we see in theaters. Right? So who knows, man? I mean, maybe, dude, like, what if it's just all wrong? The Rey movie goes to shoot in May. Because we're going to find out. You know what I mean? We're going to find out if Daniel's right. May's right around the corner. We're going to find out. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll know soon. And I think that the real truth here is, dude, they're scrambling. Regardless of what happens and regardless of how it all shakes out, I think it's just the case that, yeah, Lucasfilm is still pretty dysfunctional. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see how it all goes from there. But yikes. Yeah. Whoa, wow. Bad things going on over there. It is also possible, though, that this kind of leads to a good scenario because, you know, like I was saying in the video yesterday, not a lot of people want this Rey movie. I know there are people that do, just like there are people that want She-Hulk season 2. But we got to go with the majority. We got to go with what the consensus in the fan base is. And I think it's an incredibly silly idea to make the next time you go to a theater to see Star Wars for it to be movies about Rey. Like, I think that's ridiculous, frankly. You know what I mean? So, to me, if they have to can it and delay everybody, I think that would end up being good. Now, again, I still think they're going to do the Rey movie. You know what I mean? Like, I do. I believe that. But maybe a different team. Maybe John and Dave. Maybe a trilogy. Because, like, to me, it's like, if you're going to do the Rey movie, don't do this weird, like, oh, we're doing another Rey movie, but it's not a trilogy, and we're just kind of, you know, telling a little bit of that story, but it's not a trilogy. You know, like, don't do that. Do a trilogy. Come up with something brilliant. I think you need to get Adam Driver back. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? I believe the phrase is, wow, wow, wee wow. Yes, that is it. Star Wars is a memory at this point. Yeah, unfortunately, it is. I mean, it's been down bad. But, you know, look, at the end of the day, this is taking us to a place where John and Dave are now going to be in charge of rehabilitating the brand. That's a that's a dub. You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm not saying they're going to be able to do it. I personally have faith that they can do it. But it damn sure wasn't going to happen with Charmin Obed-Chinoy in a Rey movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I personally think, even though it's real shaky, even though there's a lot of things in flux, I think the fact that we're going to get John and Dave doing movies, co-writing this thing, plotting out a trilogy, like, these are the guys, man. Like, these are the homies. You know? So I guess we'll just see. Anyways, chat, let's get into a little bit of Q&A. Unless there's anything else I missed. Is there anything else that we should be talking about? Is it true that Charmin took her PR people to CNN without Disney's oversight to talk about the Rey movie because she wanted to make sure it got made? I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't heard anything about that, but I mean, that seems like a pretty Hollywood move. That seems... I think that happens a lot in Hollywood. Like, I think Patty Jenkins was trying to do that. Like, do you remember there were a lot of things that came out about that movie breaking down, and then during the Wonder Woman thing, Patty came out with this like big crazy statement, and within that statement, she kind of said, and the ball's in the court of Lucasfilm, like we're still, I'm still planning on doing that movie, and that was her basically being like trying to plant a flag in the ground and say, yes, this is still happening, so then the pressure would be on Disney to greenlight it and all that. So yeah. Didn't Adam Driver say in a recent podcast he's done with these Star Wars movies? Of course, if they back up the money truck, he'll probably do it. Yeah, he did say that. It's hard to say, like, is that a negotiation tactic? Because, actors do this all the time. Remember when Tom Holland said he might not want to be playing Spider-Man anymore? Remember when Tom Holland was like, if I'm still playing Spider-Man in my 30s, there's like something wrong with it? You know what I mean? Like, and we were all like, the fuck? Some of that's negotiation tactics. Some of it's just to throw the fans off. So who knows for sure? Who knows for sure? The Euphoria guy passing on Sentry. Yeah, so I think, didn't Jeff Snyder, and Aaliyah hit me up on Twitter about this. I believe Jeff Snyder said he doesn't even think that guy got the offer. So like, I don't know, like, did Daniel just say that and then say he passed? I mean, there's no way for us to really prove that one way or another, but I guess we'll see. I mean, I didn't think he was right for the role, dude, but call me crazy. I want a dude with some fracking muscles on him to be the Sentry. And look, I know you can get in shape, and they do incredible stuff over in Hollywood with like peptides and steroids, and they can jack you up. Like, you can get jacked up. Look at Kamal Nanjiani, man. Like, great example. But there's also the case that, like, they're trying to shoot this movie fast. I feel like if you got somebody that already had some muscle mass, that had already been working out, like, it's really hard to take somebody from no physique to incredible physique. It's a lot easier to take somebody with like decent physique to like godly physique. Like, that's a lot easier. So who knows? Who knows what the deal is with that? All right, guys, I'm going to start getting into the member chats, super chats, and all that sort of stuff. Josh, some channels are reporting there's a Deadpool 3 clash between Ryan Reynolds and She-Hulk cameo. Who's reporting that? Like, think about who's reporting it. Like, I haven't heard that from anybody reliable. Like, where'd you hear that from? Like some random van? We were walking out of the mall. You guys want to buy a bunch of frozen steaks? Oh, and by the way, there's major beef between She-Hulk and Ryan Reynolds. Oh my God. Turn your heat on, Josh. We need more. Hey, I'm freezing my balls off. That's all I got today. Is it literally Mike Zero? Is it literally Mike Zero? Come on, man. Come on, man. I like Mike Zero, but I mean, this guy's in another dimension. So I think Mike reports stuff that's probably actually true, but it's true in like an alternative reality. So the trouble with Mike is like he's not in our reality. It's a multiversal issue. I don't want to get into the details, but he's just fucking wrong. Like, often. So, all right, let's get into the Q&A, all that sort of stuff. Rosie, first in today with $1.99 and the thumbs up thing. This is like a TikTok thing where I have to do this now for like a minute straight. So thank you. CC Ryder says $5 for the suit intro. Love you, homie. Take my money. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Andrea says, how bad does this Rey movie make Disney look? I feel bad for Daisy. Nerd Avengers for life. I mean, I kind of feel bad for Daisy a little bit, I suppose. But I think Daisy will be fine. And I think they'll do movies with Daisy. To be honest with you, they probably should wait 5 years before they make that Daisy Ridley movie anyway. Like, the timing of bringing Daisy back felt so odd. It wasn't long enough for us to, like, miss her. It wasn't long enough for us to begin to feel nostalgia for those movies. It wasn't long enough for us to be like, you know, maybe those movies weren't that bad like they did with the prequels. It almost felt like we were right in the middle of that, where, like, we had just let the pain go away. It wasn't stinging as badly. And maybe, like, in several years after that, we all could have been like, you know what, maybe I could accept more Rey movies. But instead, it kind of felt to me like we were just getting over it, and they were like, guess what, bitch? You get more Rey! Like, right in our faces, and it just wasn't the time. You know? I don't know. That's how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? Adam Warlock's stepbrother says, bro, it's basically been a decade. Nostalgia never kicking in. Has it been a decade? Didn't the last one come out in 2019? That's like 5 years. That's like halfway to a decade. You goddamn butthole. Okay, next question. Frex says, though the Star Wars What If is not happening, if it did, it would be completely 10 out of 10 amazeballs and Andrew Lincoln for... yeah, so again, I still don't know who this Andrea Lincoln is. Never heard of her. But, dude, Star Wars What If is not a good idea. Visions is basically Star Wars What If anyway. And I don't think What If is what you want with Star Wars. I don't think so. I know they kind of played around with it. It could be cool in some ways. But I feel like that stuff you relegate to fan fiction. You relegate to other people because the canon of Star Wars and, like, the big events, the cosmic big events, like, they matter. So I don't think Star Wars What If would have even been that cool, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think so. Neon Hum says, Star Wars announcing new projects they're not going to follow through on. Shocker. Yeah, dude. I suppose that's true. They do that quite a bit. And you know what? I had this tweet yesterday. Right? Tell me you ain't seen it after the trailer and we'll let it go. Wait, what? What are we letting go here? Tell me you ain't seen it after the trailer. Oh, you're talking about Andrea Lincoln? And what do we think? That he should be, who do you guys think he should be? Reed Richards? I think Andrew Lincoln could be a fine Reed Richards. Can I throw another pick out there, though? The president? Can I throw another pick out there? And I think you guys will like this. Okay? So just walk with me on this. Hear me out. MC Reed Richards, played by Taylor Swift. After she wins the Super Bowl, you know, get her in there and Reed Richards, you know. See you Friday. Woo! Let's get it. T Swift, baby. Ahmad Cadet, welcome to the Nerd Vengers. You are a Nerd Venger now. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for the love. Kevin says, Josh, I'm pretty sure you can change your Twitch username. I did it on mine before. That's good news. As I thought those underscores would be the death of me. So, yeah, that's fantastic news. We'll get on that. We'll fix it up. Watch Those Wrist Rockets says, She-Hulk saved my life. It's a weird flex, but looks like it got the job done. And I don't think you'll be needing a season 2 to save your life again. Invincitron says, Bad Baby, no squeezy. I'm out, motherfucker. Oh, yes. That's the truth of the matter is that the reason I'm so hyped up is a small confession here, guys. Small confession. The reason I'm so hyped up about this Mando movie is because it means more Babu. A Babu! He's never far away, Babu. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to see Babu Frick in the theaters, man. Let's go! Tobin says, what the actual shit is up with y'all and Andrew or Abraham Lincoln? Andrew Lincoln playing Abraham Lincoln. That's an interesting one. It's an inside joke in the community. I think it's pretty much all Jacob Money's fault. He started it. He's just so obsessed with Andrew Lincoln, and he keeps saying, like, Andrew Lincoln should be cast in this, Andrew Lincoln should be cast in that. And so I started, doing what I do and being like, who's Andrea Lincoln? Does she have an OnlyFans? Like that, that kind of stuff. So, we just like to have fun over here, baby. Just like to have fun over here. Mr. Lucky says, 12 months of being a Nerd Venger. Thanks for the awesome stream/content. Nerd Vengers for life. Hey, I appreciate it, brother. I really do. That support means a lot. Thank you. Chilling in the basement says, KK is a clown. It takes the movie she wants going to crap for her to give us a movie we want. I'm glad to see signs of real change at Marvel. Nerd Vengers for life. Take my money. Hell yeah, bro. And I'm choosing to be really optimistic about it when it comes to Marvel and when it comes to Star Wars. Like, I think a lot of stuff we've been complaining about over the past year or two is true and real. And I think that at the end of the day, like, you got to do what fans want. And so I'm trying to look out and see, okay, is it possible things are changing for the better? Is it possible we are going to get less gloobly glob and more stuff with characters we actually like? And I kind of think it looks like that. I kind of think that's what's going on. Like, no She-Hulk season 2. W. Foggy and Karen back in Daredevil. W. Ray movie not being the next movie we're going to see in theaters. W. Let's see how many more. See how many more W's come our way in the next couple of years. So Jeet says, Josh, make sure you're staying hydrated today. That's a good point. Let me take a big old sip of smart water here. It's nice. Rosie with the 5 spot says, how is KK still running Lucasfilm? How many writers, directors has KK chased off? Do you know why she's still there, or can you take a guess? Yeah, so as far as it's like been reported, KK's there kind of the same reason that Bob Iger's still there. Nobody else can do the job. Not a lot of people even want that job. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's what it is. Like, who replaces KK? I think that's part of it. Who replaces KK? And it almost feels like, unless they hit like rock bottom, you won't get a complete overhaul. Like, you won't get somebody that comes in there and is like, I'm going to remake the culture of Lucasfilm. And I would love that, right? But I don't know if they'll ever get to that object level of failure. A little bit of that is just like Disney has this like too big to fail kind of thing going on, which again is why it's so shocking that they actually even make some of the changes we're talking about today. So I think the reason Kathleen Kennedy's there is there's no viable person to take over. There's no viable strategy for a complete creative overhaul. John doesn't want to do it. Dave doesn't want to do it. And they're really not qualified to do it. So I don't know who would do it. I don't know who could get the job. I don't know who could even do that job. I mean, fuck it, man. Maybe who takes over for Kathleen Kennedy in the next couple of years? AI. Maybe the robots. The robots will take over. I guess we'll see. Now, plenty of people could do that job. I can fail over and over again with the best of them. I mean, that's true. That's true, but it comes with a lot of pressure. I think a lot of, you just look at how Kathy's been treated by you guys, not me. I mean, I've been really nice over the past couple of years, but you guys can go a little hard. So you look at how Kathy's been treated, and I can't really blame anybody for being like, I don't know about that. The nephew of George Lucas himself, Joshua Lucas, will ascend to the throne. Nah, I'm not really interested. I would maybe like give some ideas or consult a little bit, or to just be like, hey, go watch my videos where I tell you what the fuck to do, and I've been saying do this for years, and my ideas are way better than yours. Like, I would say that, but I don't want that job. I don't want that job, man. If it bombs, she gone. Yeah, that song was fire. Unfortunately, it was also a lie. I bet Kathleen Kennedy walked into the office with Bob Iger, and they were going to discuss her retirement, and she put on that video. The music video, the one like Theory and I did, that music, that song. And Kathleen Kennedy made Bob Iger sit there. And you know the whole time he's trying not to bob his head. The whole time he's like, fuck. This is a banger, but I gotta act chill here. And then after the video was done, Kathleen Kennedy was like, do you see what I have to deal with, Bob? You really gonna force my retirement when the climate out there's like this for a whammon, Bob? And she got a contract extension. So it's kind of my fault. But it was a banger. It was a good-ass beat. And then I bet after Kathy left the room, Bob put that shit on again, and he was like, you know. Isn't Lando a movie now? I don't know. You'd have to ask Donald Glover about that. Genko! Welcome to the Nerdvengers, baby! Appreciate the love. All right, guys, I'm gonna probably get out of here. I mean, I know it was a quick one today. I apologize. We'll have a longer one on Friday. We'll do the GameStop gift card giveaway on Friday. But yeah, I just got so much going on today, man. I got to get out of here. I got to get working on it. I've got Unity work to do. I've got video work to do. I've got a lot of work to get done today. Daredevil video dropping for you guys later today. I think you'll dig it. It'll be pretty chill. And other than that, I'll see you on Friday. Maybe we'll get some clarification from Jeff Snyder later today. Did you talk about Madam Web? What about it? I'm not watching that shit. I'm not watching that shit, bro. To this day, I still haven't seen Morbius. It's not happening. You know what I mean? Hey, Nate Elston with a 20 spot. That's very generous, brother. I appreciate that. Says, I recently watched Light and Magic. It is a great documentary on ILM history. Gives me hope for the future and more depressed for the present. John and Dave, please help us. Why not? If it bombs, she gone. Josh, thanks for hanging. Yeah, look, as long as those two guys are over there, I still have hope. And I want Star Wars to succeed. I'm not, like, all the way out. And when Ahsoka was hitting that stretch in the middle of Ahsoka, man, I was feeling like a fan again. I was feeling great. Buying merch, reading Star Wars comics, reading Star Wars books, wanting to do theories about Abeloth and all that kind of stuff, you know? So there's still a lot of love there left in me for the franchise. And, you know, I do think maybe we're moving in the right direction here. We'll see. Rosie says, did you see Bob Chapek is now sitting on the board of the company who beat Apple in court for Apple Watch and got it banned? What? No, I did not see that. That's interesting. Send me a link about that. I don't even know what that means. Bro, you got to see the latest promo. Check your IG. I'll send it to you. Are you talking about the one where she was like, didn't she do some kind of countdown thing or something? Like, I just saw Paul like wait, is it this one? If you meet now, you'll be watching Madam Web together by Valentine's Day, exclusively in movie theaters February 14th. Is that the promo you're talking about? She tried to sex it up? Yeah. Well, they better try something. Because that movie's going to bomb, bro. That movie's going to bomb. So they better try something, man. Josh, would you bet money on there being another decent Star Wars movie in the next 10 years? Yes. Yep, I would. I would. Did you see Eric Adams' video teaching parents to search their kids' rooms? Simulation confirmed. Wait, what? I can't even make sense of what you just said, brother. I don't even know what you just said. UFC 297 predictions. Strickland for the win, man. Strickland for the win, man. Josh, can you suit up to take off? I got too much work to do in the tower. Otherwise, I would. All right, everybody. If I keep looking at chat, we're going to be here all day. I love and appreciate you all. I thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes, for the chats. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for the member chats. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Thank you for the Jeff Bezos money. I appreciate it all, guys. Thank you so much. And thanks for hanging out last night if you were there last night. If not, go watch it on the replay. I blew the breaker out because I had so many heaters in the office. I was trying to stay warm and I blew the breaker out. So it's 2 streams technically, but we went for like 2 hours last night, and I came to a really interesting conclusion about the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby thing. So I think you should check that out if you can. All right, everybody. Much love, and as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Kind of sounds like a boat horn or something. Just tagged you on the Bob article on Twitter. Sick, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Give me that other link too. Or was that the link? Thanks. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you. I really do. You're sweet, sweet folks. Video today, video tomorrow, videos over the weekend. Big stream Friday. Go out there and do something you love today, man. You know? Like last night, and I posted on my Instagram, I just randomly got a bunch of Spider-Man figures and posed them up like they were fighting Iron Man. It was just fun. It was just cool. You know? Go do something fun. Remember to open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt. It's so fucking cold in here. Oh